For our next project in Google Sheets, we're going to be creating a budget for you, imagining that you're roughly 10 years in the future when you might not be living with mom and dad anymore. You're done with high school, of course, done with college if you're going to college or trade school. Maybe you're living alone and supporting yourself. Maybe you're living with roommates. Maybe you're living with a boyfriend or girlfriend or fiance or husband or wife. But either way, you're going to have to start supporting yourself at some point. So the budget project is going to be a helpful introduction to that portion of your life, which isn't really all that far off. All right, so first of all, you're going to want to make sure that you're in the Google Sheets folder. And the Google Sheets folder is set up with completion rules, which means you have to view this in order to access this. You have to complete the quiz in order to access this. You have to submit this to get to this, and so on and so forth. Now, after you complete Google Sheets formulas, which depending on when you're watching this, may actually already have been due. But if you're watching this the day that it was posted, then it's due tonight. And then that will allow you to access this folder, the budget project. So if you click on that folder, then you'll see these three files. Now, the only things that are due for this marking period are the salary predictor and budget part 1. Budget part 2 will be due in the 4th marking period. So you're going to click on salary predictor 2017, and it's going to ask you to make a copy of that. And you'll, of course, make a copy, and that will bring you to this document. And you'll start on this Getting Started tab. And it tells you to go to Skyward and to go to the Entering Your Grades tab. So you might want to pause this video, open up Skyward, and then go to Entering Your Grades. Now, just to explain, I do not think that some classes are more important than others, but what I do know is statistics will show you that there are some classes that you're taking right now that the skills that you're using will be more essential to certain jobs. So, for example, English. Now, we don't have writing workshop anymore, but computer applications, of course, you're going to need to know how to use a computer at most jobs, and math and so on. Those classes, you can almost guarantee that you're going to need some or maybe all of the skills that you learn in those classes at that job. But band, unless you are a professional musician, you won't need those skills for a job. That doesn't mean that band isn't important. I use the skills that I learned in band almost every day. I play music all the time. I just played the drums for the High School Musical. So band's really important to me because I happen to still play music. But do they ask me to play drums every day in my classroom? No. So it's not something that I need, but it's definitely something I use. Same thing with languages. Like when I have traveled in the past, I've used the languages that I learned in school. It's a great thing to know. But none of the jobs that I've had have I needed to know those things. My sister's first job was in Germany. Did she need her German? Of course she did. So you don't know at 12, 13, 14, even 18, 19, 20, what skills you're going to need to use the rest of your life. So I'm not saying that some of these classes are more important or less important than others, but I am saying that some of these are a little bit more specialized as far as what you might do in your future. So just forget about that right now. So the pink classes are listed as essential. The greens are just considered others. And there's this link here. Click here for more help. You click on that, and it's going to open up this document. Now, I hope you already know this, but when you go to Skyward and you click on Gradebook, if you just see like these little books here instead of grades, you don't have to click on those every single time that you want to see a grade. So what you do is once you get to Gradebook, you click Display Options, and you can see that right here. And then you choose Show Calculated Gradebook Grades. And that way, you'll always see the grades and not just the little books. So if you like that feature, please leave that turned on. Show Calculated Gradebook Grades. And the only grades that you want are grades from the FIN column for classes that are either already done, so you've already finished that class, you have a final grade, or classes that are still going on that you've had all year. So none of the classes that just started in the 3rd marking period, because you don't have enough data for them yet. But if you had a class all year long, like this one, or a class that is already finished, you don't have anymore, then you're going to use those grades, and those grades only, not classes that just started in the third marking period. Then go to the next tab, salary indicator, and you're going to switch back and forth between your grades and this sheet. So you might want to use the split screen that we've seen in the past. So you'll enter the name of the class here. So for example, my first period, I have band. Okay, I'm not going to put that here because it's not one of the quote essential classes. Again, doesn't mean I think it's more important. It's just for this particular assignment, it's going to go in that column. So if my band grade is 100, I put 100 over here because it's considered an other. But if next period I have English, put that grade here because it's clearly listed as one of these classes. And computer apps. Oops. And so on. And then German. Okay, then after you've entered in all of your grades, and obviously you're going to have more than this, you're going to enter each of your answers for these questions. And notice that your answers are going to be numbers. Do not put, so if my answer for this was 3 hours, don't put 3 hours. Put 3 as your answer. Okay, same thing here. Don't put, well, that one, there's really no other way to answer it. Okay. Don't put yes, put 1 for yes or 0 for no. So you got to put numbers in there. And before you ask, no, you don't need to know any math to do this. Just enter the numbers and the computer, the spreadsheet is going to do the rest of the work for you. When you're done with that, raise your hand, or if you're doing this at home, just wait and I'll help you with it next class. But if you're in class, just raise your hand and I'll tell you what to do next then. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with your salary predictor. I hope you make a lot of money.